Welcome to Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Our mission is to bridge the gap between scientific research and practical healthcare applications, ensuring that the latest advancements improve patient care, health outcomes, and public health. Biomedical knowledge translation involves turning cutting-edge biomedical research into tangible solutions for healthcare systems. At Actuate Biomedicine, we specialize in this process, ensuring that scientific breakthroughs reach those who need them most. We host our Learn to Earn sessions every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. East African Time. Each cohort participates in an 8-week program designed to guide learners through the 7 stages of biomedical knowledge translation. The 7 stages include exploration, where we identify new research and innovations; evaluation, assessing the potential impact and feasibility; planning, developing strategies for implementation; development, creating practical applications and solutions; implementation, integrating these solutions into healthcare settings; another round of evaluation, monitoring and assessing effectiveness; and finally, distribution, ensuring wide access to the final products. Our learners gain in-depth knowledge and practical skills, empowering them to translate biomedical research into real-world applications. Through our program, we aim to foster a new generation of experts who will drive advancements in healthcare. Join us at Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Together, we can make a significant impact on healthcare and public health. Learn, earn, and contribute to a healthier future. Be a part of the change. Transform knowledge into action with Actuate Biomedicine. Welcome to Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Our mission is to bridge the gap between scientific research and practical healthcare applications, ensuring that the latest advancements improve patient care, health outcomes, and public health. Biomedical knowledge translation involves turning cutting-edge biomedical research into tangible solutions for healthcare systems. At Actuate Biomedicine, we specialize in this process, ensuring that scientific breakthroughs reach those who need them most. We host our Learn to Earn sessions every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. East African Time. Each cohort participates in an 8-week program designed to guide learners through the 7 stages of biomedical knowledge translation. The 7 stages include exploration, where we identify new research and innovations; evaluation, assessing the potential impact and feasibility; planning, developing strategies for implementation; development, creating practical applications and solutions; implementation, integrating these solutions into healthcare settings; another round of evaluation, monitoring and assessing effectiveness; and finally, distribution, ensuring wide access to the final products. Our learners gain in-depth knowledge and practical skills, empowering them to translate biomedical research into real-world applications. Through our program, we aim to foster a new generation of experts who will drive advancements in healthcare. Join us at Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Together, we can make a significant impact on healthcare and public health. Learn, earn, and contribute to a healthier future. Be a part of the change. Transform knowledge into action with Actuate Biomedicine. Welcome to Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Our mission is to bridge the gap between scientific research and practical healthcare applications, ensuring that the latest advancements improve patient care, health outcomes, and public health. Biomedical knowledge translation involves turning cutting-edge biomedical research into tangible solutions for healthcare systems. At Actuate Biomedicine, we specialize in this process, ensuring that scientific breakthroughs reach those who need them most. We host our Learn to Earn sessions every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. East African Time. Each cohort participates in an 8-week program designed to guide learners through the 7 stages of biomedical knowledge translation. The 7 stages include exploration, where we identify new research and innovations; evaluation, assessing the potential impact and feasibility; planning, developing strategies for implementation; development, creating practical applications and solutions; implementation, integrating these solutions into healthcare settings; another round of evaluation, monitoring and assessing effectiveness; and finally, distribution, ensuring wide access to the final products. Our learners gain in-depth knowledge and practical skills, empowering them to translate biomedical research into real-world applications. Through our program, we aim to foster a new generation of experts who will drive advancements in healthcare. Join us at Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Together, we can make a significant impact on healthcare and public health. Learn, earn, and contribute to a healthier future. Be a part of the change. Transform knowledge into action with Actuate Biomedicine. Welcome to Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Our mission is to bridge the gap between scientific research and practical healthcare applications, ensuring that the latest advancements improve patient care, health outcomes, and public health. Biomedical knowledge translation involves turning cutting-edge biomedical research into tangible solutions for healthcare systems. At Actuate Biomedicine, we specialize in this process, ensuring that scientific breakthroughs reach those who need them most. We host our Learn to Earn sessions every Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. East African Time. Each cohort participates in an 8-week program designed to guide learners through the 7 stages of biomedical knowledge translation. The 7 stages include exploration, where we identify new research and innovations; evaluation, assessing the potential impact and feasibility; planning, developing strategies for implementation; development, creating practical applications and solutions; implementation, integrating these solutions into healthcare settings; another round of evaluation, monitoring and assessing effectiveness; and finally, distribution, ensuring wide access to the final products. Our learners gain in-depth knowledge and practical skills, empowering them to translate biomedical research into real-world applications. Through our program, we aim to foster a new generation of experts who will drive advancements in healthcare. Join us at Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Together, we can make a significant impact on healthcare and public health. Learn, earn, and contribute to a healthier future. Be a part of the change. Transform knowledge into action with Actuate Biomedicine. Welcome to Actuate Biomedicine's Biomedical Knowledge Translation Faucet. Our mission is to bridge the gap between scientific research and practical healthcare applications, ensuring that the latest advancements improve patient care, health outcomes, and public health. Biomedical knowledge translation involves turning cutting-edge biomedical research into tangible solutions for healthcare systems. At Actuate Biomedicine, we specialize in this process, ensuring that scientific breakthroughs reach those who need them most.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry. Welcome to our second session of the cohort 3. I hope you've been having a good day. I too have been having a good day. So today we will be focusing more of the Actuate token, and also we are going to have a touch of the white paper. So without further ado, let me introduce the meeting agenda for today. Our topic master will be Ronald Anthony. I can see he's in the meeting. Then after that, we are going to have Dr. Masharia Warengi giving us the additional insights about today's topic. Then from there, we are going to have a session for questions and also comments about the topic. And also we are going to have a touch on maybe the summit So yeah, then we can adjourn the meeting. So let me welcome Ronald to take us through our topic for today.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for attending for this session. I'm Ronald Anthony. Understanding the role of white papers and the Actuate token in biomedical knowledge translation. A white paper is an authoritative report that addresses complex issues and proposes solutions. In industries like biomedicine, white papers are used to convey advanced research, new technologies, and innovations to stakeholders, researchers, and policymakers. They serve as an essential tool for knowledge translation, transforming complex scientific data into actionable insights that will be applied in healthcare settings. As biomedical research continues to evolve, the ability to rapidly and accurately translate research findings into clinical applications is vital. This is where the concept of biomedical knowledge translation comes in. Knowledge translation is the process of moving research from academic labs into real-world healthcare environments to improve patient outcomes. What is the Actuate token? The Actuate token is an innovative digital asset designed to streamline the exchange of information, incentive participation, and ensure the transparency and security of transactions in biomedical research. By utilizing blockchain technology, it is a decentralized platform that enables researchers, healthcare providers, and institutions to share validated information quickly, efficiently, and securely. Unlikely traditional systems where the dissemination of biomedical knowledge is hindered by bureaucracy, slow peer review processes, and proprietary restrictions, the Actuate token will offer a mechanism to incentivize knowledge sharing and create a more collaborative ecosystem. Here's how it will work. First, the incentivizing research collaboration. The Actuate token will encourage collaboration by offering researchers and contributors reward for the participation in knowledge sharing. This will include data sharing, peer reviews, or research contributions. Secondly, the decentralization for trust. Operating on blockchain, the token will offer decentralized management of medical data. This will increase transparency and trust, ensuring that data shared on the platform is authentic and verifiable without being subject to the control of a single entity. That is the efficient biomedical knowledge translation. The token will enable faster translation of biomedical discoveries into clinical practice by creating a reward-based system for those who provide critical information or expertise. This will allow the system to quickly identify credible information, incentivize its sharing, and apply it in clinical environments. Patient-centered approaches. By improving the flow of biomedical knowledge, the Actuate token will help deliver more personalized healthcare solutions. Patients will benefit from quicker access to cutting-edge treatments that result from accelerated knowledge translation. How white paper will help understand the Actuate token. In understanding complex systems like the Actuate token, white paper are key resources. A white paper on the Actuate token will likely cover the following. First, the background, explanation of the current challenges in biomedical knowledge translation. Second one is the solution proposal, introduction of the Actuate token as a mechanism to address those challenges. Third is the implementation, details on how tokens will be integrated into existing healthcare systems, how the decentralized system works, and how stakeholders will benefit. The fourth is the impact and scalability. which is forecasting the potential impact of the token on the healthcare innovation and its scalability across different biomedical sectors. The fifth is a case studies, real-world example of where the Actuate token is applied successfully. Such a white paper will serve as a critical tool for educating stakeholders, attracting funding, and pushing towards regulatory support for the wider adoption of blockchain-enabled healthcare systems. In conclusion, the Actuate token is poised to revolutionize how we approach biomedical knowledge translation. Through its decentralized, incentivized, and transparent model, it will break down barriers to knowledge sharing, fostering collaboration and faster healthcare innovation. As white paper continues to expose and document the capability of the Actuate token, they will undoubtedly serve as a bridge between theoretical research and real-world application. Thank you so much, and that's the end of my presentation.
Thank you so much, Ronald, for that nice presentation. At this time, let me welcome Dr. Masharia to give us more additional comments about that topic. Welcome, Doc.
All right, thank you, Grace. Can you hear me? Am I unmuted?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
Okay. All right, well, thank you so much, Grace. And thank you, Anthony. Well, Ronald Anthony. Now, here today, we are talking about white papers, white paper itself, the specific white paper for the Actuate token. Now, everybody should and must read that white paper. The reason you read it, you're going to get grounded. It's our foundation document. On Friday last week in our STEM translation class, we went through the white paper line by line, all the way to the end. From the beginning to the end, from the top to bottom. And you find the white paper is packed with dense material. That dense material is the Actuate token itself. It describes the properties of the Actuate token, both the physical, the mental, and the spiritual properties of the token. That means what the token is going to do, why we need, what the token is all about, how it is going to work, or how it is operating, how it functions, and why we need it. Okay. Now, you know why we need it. That's why we are here, to incentivize translation science. Incentivize translation science. Now, see, from that white paper, which is a lot of other white papers are going to emerge. And these white papers, usually people call them improvement proposals, or they just, in the blockchain world, we call them improvement proposals. Like for the Bitcoin improvement proposal is known as BIP. For the Ethereum improvement proposal is EIP. They really are not different from the white paper. They are white papers talking about a specific aspect of, say, Ethereum. And so today, let us unpack these specific aspects of Actuate token that are described already in the white paper, but they shall now need us to develop new white papers to explain what each one of those features is all about. Okay. So in the white paper, when you were reading it last week, you found that it has got two main jobs. One job is to actuate the translation and commercialization of knowledge in Africa in service of global health production, or in service of health and human development, so that people can just have access to health. Okay, that is one job. That job is very, very big because it involves translation of our knowledge. And you see, knowledge is in everything. There's nothing you do that does not require knowledge. So that's a very huge undertaking. But you can narrow it down and focus on biomedical science. But biomedical science itself is not enough all on its own. So we need the other basic sciences like mathematics, physics, and these are the sciences that give you applied sciences like engineering. So when you say science, technology, engineering, mathematics, that is a summary of all the basic sciences plus applied sciences. So what we are talking about is translation of basic sciences through to applied sciences in general and through to very specific applied science known as biomedicine. Are we together there? So we have said what? That we are translating basic sciences of mathematics, physics, chemistry into applied sciences of engineering and technology, into even more specific applied science of biomedicine to create biomedical products. So you understand that. So the job of the Actuate token is to do that. Then after we have translated all those sciences, what do we do with them? What do we do with the translated science? Because translated science means that at the end of it, or at the end of the day of translation, is a product, a commercial product. These are well, let me say that at the end of it all is a product and or a service like a healthcare service, okay, or whatever service you can imagine. So translation science ends up in form of a product or a service, and those services are for what? So the service we are talking about is what's called healthcare services. Okay, healthcare services. And these healthcare services are things like hospitals, clinics, medical centers, places like that, laboratories. Those are called services. And you see, we translate the medicine, we translate the knowledge to create products to use to deliver better care and services. And you can see what's going on today, that the nature of service delivery is changing so fast. Like now we're able to do telemedicine, which was not possible maybe about 20 years ago. Yes. So you can see now that's why we're saying there are two main things that the Actuate token is doing. And you want to read the white paper to comprehend that very, very well, what it's all about. So the white paper, because things that we do every day during the week, you might say, how do they relate to the Actuate token? And even when you read the white paper, you don't get them. But they are there, they're embedded. It's just that we have to unpack the white paper line by line so that we can pull out those two things, or translation science and creation of services, service delivery. Now, in a white paper, you will see that the approach to actuating people, actuating, remember we have talked about this actuating process quite a bit, that knowledge has to be actuated. Knowledge does not happen spontaneously. Nobody creates anything spontaneously. Something has to happen. As I refer to you again to Genesis 1, where it says, the Spirit moved, and the Lord said, let there be light. That movement requires some energy, something called force. So that force is the force that ignites creation. The force that ignites the creation so that you can create something like a commercial product requires a certain movement, but it's not automatic, it's not spontaneous. The spirit does not just move all on its own. It needs to be ignited. Or just like if you leave a matchbox with matches inside, they're never going to cause a fire. Somebody has to strike the match. If you want to make a fire, you have to strike the match. But to strike the match requires you to apply a certain energy. Where does it come from? Coordination. That first of all, before you can strike the match, you have to have the desire to create a fire. Because you would not just create, you will not just strike a match just for the sake of striking a match. You must have the desire to create a fire. And you're not just creating a fire for the sake of the fire itself. See this, you're not creating the fire for the sake of the fire. You are creating the fire to give you a service for something else, either to cook food or to warm your house or to bake potatoes or sweet potatoes. Okay. Yes. Or you want to heat your sauna so you can boil water in the sauna and get steam. All right. So you can see that the act of striking a match, it's preceded by a lot of other things. All those things, you call them desire. The desire is what you want to achieve. But that desire, between the desire and striking a match, is something else. You have to have the force to apply the force, which is called Actuate token itself. It's a force that helps you to strike the match. So when you strike the match, then the fire is burning and you can do it. So similarly, you will see that first of all, in translation science, we have the desire to have products that will improve human life. That's the desires, like the desire to make a fire, to make ugali. So you have a desire for ugali because you're hungry. But between the fire and ugali is a big distance. That's between the knowledge, the desire for having good products, and the fire that is going to create those good products is a very big distance. That distance is what is known as the creative tension, the distance between the desire and what is present at this time. Is a tension. There's tension between there. A lot of people can never resolve that creative tension. They need incentivization. They need to be incentivized. Yes. Well, the other word for that distance between what you desire to achieve and what is on the ground right now is the creative tension. So the tension is like you desire it so much, but yet you cannot do it. It is pulling you towards it. And then your own mind, or let's say your mind is pulling you back. So imagine something is pulling you forward, and then something else is pulling you back at the same time. In order for you to have the energy ignited to jump out of that state, to move towards your desire, you need to be actuated. And that's what the Actuate token is all about. That's all the science of Actuate, or let's say that's all the philosophy of actuating things. You see that resolving that tension, the creative tension, is not a spontaneous process. So what we are saying in the white paper, in the very beginning of the whole process, we know that there's a lot of knowledge that is in the tacit dimension. The knowledge, the tacit dimension it's like matchboxes. Next, matches inside the matchbox. It is tacit. You know that those matchboxes can cause a fire, or the matches can create a fire, but they're just there. But how do they move out? How do the matches move out of the matchbox and strike on the side of the matchbox to create a fire? That process was called translation. Yeah, it takes an ignition, because you cannot have a fire coming out if the matches remain in their matchbox. Now, let me tell you, the biggest tragedy we have right now is that we don't have a process like that anywhere in Africa for knowledge. For example, when you go to the hospitals, there's a lot of knowledge about how we can create new products. Like the matches themselves, they know how they can create a fire. They have the knowledge to create a fire all by themselves. They have the potential for creating a fire. So when you go to hospitals like Kenyatta National Hospital or any other hospital you find in the country, there are doctors working there, nurses, clinical officers, all these medical personnel. They come across diseases every day and have an idea, an intuition of what they can do to combat that disease. And then they have a desire to create a solution to combat that disease. When you see that desire is where it's far out there, but then the disease is with them, and then they have the knowledge with them, but that knowledge has to be ignited. So in order for it to be ignited, we're saying that we can create we create an incentive program. We incentivize people to, first of all, organize that knowledge. So for the purpose of translation. And as we were saying here last week, is that organizing such a knowledge requires you to write it down. Because if it is not written, it does not exist. That means just like striking a match, which is going to take the potential fire from the match itself, yeah, the knowledge has to flow down from your consciousness into your fingers, and then from your fingers onto a paper. You see, that's known as it is known as I because the one is the end, to your hands coordination. That flow of the knowledge, it has actually to cascade down. And what we are saying, that process itself is not spontaneous. The knowledge will never flow out of your head and get into your fingers and into your paper spontaneously. You have to activate it. You have to strike a match. Now, when it comes to technical knowledge, like medical knowledge, scientific knowledge, it's even much worse because you as an individual, you would rather, I'm going to repeat this, you would rather not write down your scientific observation. You would rather watch television and enjoy a movie, or you would rather send a text message to a friend. You see, so it becomes a choice between activating your knowledge and maybe just pretending that, okay, it doesn't matter, although you know it. Now, that whole thing of knowing, having a desire to do something, and then doing something else totally different, a make believe, because if you don't do what you desire to do, you're doing a make believe. It's a comfort food. It's comforting yourself that I've been busy. And you know, Paul called those kind of people busybodies. Yeah, busy, working, but they're not translating the knowledge. But they talk a lot about the knowledge translation. But it's not, that is, let's say that could be 99% of the population. It's not you alone, it's not me alone. That we can see things we can do, but we would rather not do them because we would rather do the simple thing, or maybe you know, just participating in the social, you know, what do you call it? It's just the social discourse. And you can see now, when you come to the universities, a lot of professors there with so many degrees, and they're talking about their degree qualification. Those high degrees they have attained are in the past. They have nothing to do with the desire that's in the future. So they do not matter squat in the process of translation. So the past matters nothing in translation science. So when it's actuated, it's moving forward towards the future. So I think that the several ways people could resolve that creative tension. First of all, is just to disregard it, say it doesn't exist. But if they incentivized, most likely, we say most likely, and we have seen that 85% of the people, when they receive an incentive through either a game or a competition, or they earn tokens, or they earn money for doing what they're supposed to be doing anyway, they get rewarded, they do it. But those rewards cannot just be simple rewards. They have to earn the reward in a form of competition. So then say in these rewards, then say for example, we would rather we would want to incentivize people who to publish their scientific knowledge, as we said last week, is that we get the journal, the open journal system to help us, you know, with publications. Then if you submit an article for the journal, you receive actual token. That means people will be getting incentivized for just submitting the article. That is like striking the match. Okay, because striking the match doesn't mean that you're going to make the fire. You can strike the match and then you throw it out there in the bush. But you can strike the match and then put it in a fireplace where you had put some accelerants, like the leaves of the gravelia. You know, the gravelia tree has got very, very potent accelerants in itself, and they make the fire blaze very quickly. So you can do that. And with this place, the fireplace that we are talking about, where you throw your article or your abstracts for the initial submission, where you submit your article, that is the fireplace or the furnace. The furnace, like you have struck the match and you have thrown it in the furnace, and then the furnace got an accelerant. So the open journal system itself, OJS, and the journals we're going to create are accelerants, because what they do is to recover knowledge, and we're gonna have many people who are listed there who are subscribed to the journal to read as readers and as reviewers and as editors. So you as a submitter, you will be receiving Actuate tokens. Number two, when people, the reviewer review it, the first reviewers, an article should be reviewed by at least 4 people. And then they okay, those reviewers themselves receive Actuate tokens for reviewing. And then the editor, because editing means they have to go through the document to ensure it conforms with the standards for writing. They also receive Actuate tokens. These are like payments, but they are rewards because you see they're competitive. Just like in the Bitcoin, you have the proof of work system. It's a proof of work that you are not going to get it free of charge. You have to prove that you have done that. And that's what you're saying. Although the incentive is there, the incentive is not free. Just like nobody earns Bitcoin, POW, in a proof of work system for free. Or even proof of stake. Nobody earns Ether proof of work, proof of stake Ether for free. So it means that you must participate, but then that participation earns you money. And now you see, now to implement all those things, we shall need a white paper for each stage. That's what we are talking. That's why we're talking about white paper. Each white paper is going to be unpacking each stage of that. For example, the white paper for the incentive program for others. And this is so next year you're going to see after because we implement this after the summit, because we really have to produce this summit. But you will see the incentive program for others. And by producing a white paper on the incentive program for others, like others will get tokens for submitting. And now that can be considered an AIP, or Actuate Improvement Proposal. When we write that white paper, like Actuate Improvement Proposal, an incentive program for others, then it's going to be shared through our website so that people can read it around the world, so they can understand how to get incentive for writing. Yes, for writing what they are already observing in their own homestead. Homestead, I mean by your own place of practice. The observations you're making there, you should publish them either as anecdotal stories, that means stories you have observed, as anecdotal reports, or as organized research, which is based on maybe qualitative approach of research, or even you can do quantitative. So we are talking about a white paper that is going to describe what? It's going to describe the incentive approach to knowledge translation. And so that's a white paper for incentivization for the summation. Then there's the incentivization for reviewers. So that also shall need its own white paper. Because the incentivization for the reviewers. So the reviewers themselves, in order for them to understand how they are going to be compensated, or how it's going to work, because a competitive mechanism, just like the POW, that proof of work, we need a white paper describing that, and we shall create a white paper describing that and share it with all the people who would like to become reviewers, and then they'll be competing to review the work that's being submitted. And this way, that way, the whole thing becomes decentralized, that you can get reviewers from any country, any university, any research organization participating in reviewing the published work, or the work that's submitted. It's not published yet. Then number 4, we want to have the incentive for editors, people who want to edit the the white papers. And so long as this thing is incentivized properly and it happens spontaneously, you have seen the program like Wikipedia. Wikipedia is people who are submitting their entries, open entries, but then they have this centralized review system that anyone can come and review and criticize, and then the knowledge keeps on shaping. And Wikipedia has become much more powerful than any encyclopedia ever created. But it doesn't cover Africa, see, because there's no incentive for people to do that. This is what we are talking about now. For the Actuate improvement proposals, you see, for the knowledge translation itself, we're going to have in the publication side, the Actuate improvement proposals for submission, Actuate improvement proposal for review, Actuate improvement proposals for editors. And then after that is done, there's going to be a white paper describing how the author himself or herself continues to earn more from the submitted work when people read their work and then they rate the work. We must have a rating system that when somebody reads your article and they can give you a rate between 0 and 5, where 0 is this article makes no difference in my knowledge. There's no minus, there's no negative. Can an article subtract your knowledge? Maybe it can. But let's say I would start with 0. And then 1, it somehow improves. And then going all to 5, which means it goes above and beyond what you're expecting. And you are learning so much because it's above and beyond. So people will be getting equivalent quantities of Actuate token getting into their wallet, depending on the rating, the rate that they receive from the others. So you can see people who are writing very transformational ideas, even if the idea is 10 years later, is still transforming people, it's going to become high rated. And we believe that by doing that, all the knowledge that is now in the tacit dimension in Africa, tacit dimension. I told tacit dimension, it is like having matches in matchbox that they are never igniting. Nobody's striking them. And that knowledge is dangerous, by the way. Okay? The dangers of the knowledge remaining in the tacit dimension is twofold. One is that it decays. So just like if you have bananas and you put them out there, at one point they're going to decay and then they rot and go away. So knowledge decays. In fact, knowledge, its half-life, that means the decaying process. The decay, it can, within 5 years or even less, it's finished. That in 10 years, you will come and find that there was no knowledge here. Similarly, if you put matchboxes in a matches in a matchbox for a long time, they are going to lose their potential that even if you try to strike them, they are not going to ignite a fire. Everything decays like that. Knowledge itself decays. And that's the thing called atrophy of knowledge. If you don't use it, you lose it. So the only way that knowledge will stay fresh is by being used and being applied to other places. So that's one thing about knowledge. And you see, when there's no knowledge not being used, there's economic stagnation. That economic stagnation, it was called dead capital. Because the capital is there, there's so much knowledge, but the knowledge is dead, stagnated. So that's what the Actuate token is going to help us to prevent or to forestall the decay of the tacit knowledge. So that's one thing said. For one other thing is that when you have so much tacit knowledge never translated, then what means that people do not know, they don't know what to do with the knowledge which they have. And then there is strife, produces strife. Just like you've seen in places where people produce a lot of fruits and vegetables, like Nyandarua rains every day, they can produce a lot of milk, and then there's nowhere to take that milk, or there's nowhere to take those cabbages, they end up rotting. Becomes a struggle. So it becomes when you have too much of anything, like you have too much knowledge in the tacit dimension that's not being mined out, be taken out. You have to take it out so that it can be replaced with fresh one. And then when you're taking it out, it brings you revenue. So that's the debt capital again. And people get stranded in a quagmire. You know what's a quagmire? Quagmire is like a swamp, is it's like a bog, quagmire of tacit knowledge. And that's where we are in most times, most situations. Then it looks like, if you're looking at such a situation from outside, they look like this continuous long suffering, nothing is happening, there's so much disease, there's so much disability, so much death, life expectancy is low. Because when you're in such a bog or in a quagmire like that, who now enters? Parasites. You know, mosquitoes. Like the way mosquitoes will enter somewhere that is swampy and start by feeding on people and transmitting the malaria parasites and bacteria and viruses like COVID. And then people are found unprepared because the knowledge they have does not serve them any which way. So bacteria, parasites, mosquitoes, and viruses, they attack people and they kill them. So that's the second outcome of having too much tacit knowledge that is not translated. So anyway, all these things we must work in them. It is not even possible to create such a system without writing the white papers as I've described sequentially, every step of the way. Okay, that's the discipline. The discipline that's it. I mean, let's say it calls for discipline that this whole thing calls for, such that when you write down, people then know what is happening, and you can share this white paper all over the world. Then people know how to participate. So white papers are, you could say, the primary material for participation. They help people to know what we are doing. Because the white paper eventually, this is the last thing I'll tell you, it specifies the roadmap. For example, when you say we want to create an improvement proposal for submission of articles, then there's a roadmap with milestones and the goals. So and objectives, everything is specified in the white paper. Why do people call them white paper? Yeah, because white paper is a theoretical paper. So I want to help you distinguish between that. White paper is a theory, like you put there, that's the theory of what we are doing. It's called the theoretical underpinning. Also, we call this thesis. The thesis of your work is written on white paper. Okay? And some other people call it position paper. This is the position where we are taking to do these things. And then it helps to create direction. Where are we going? And the milestones to follow in order to get there. Okay. The other kind of papers that come out of that are working papers. Working papers are known as yellow paper or brown paper. I don't even know why they use these colors, yellow, brown, white. Meaning that working paper is now the workbook. The workbook now has got specific instructions on what to do. It's like a syllabus. A syllabus is a working paper. You see, it's an instruction manual. Like if you want to do this, you have to do this. So that's such workbooks will be coming out as we go. For example, after Vitalik Buterin wrote the original white paper, and then there was also all these Ethereum improvement proposals. There was the book now written by the Greek guy. What's his name? What's called he wrote two books. What's his name? Frida. Mr. The Greek man who wrote he's a British Greek. He wrote Mastering Ethereum. See that? Mastering Ethereum. And he also wrote the book called Mastering Bitcoin. So Mastering Ethereum, Mastering Bitcoin. Those are now workbooks because mastering Ethereum, like you are reading the workbook to know what to do and how to do it. So it has got the technical things, that technical instructions, mastering Ethereum. So really, that is what the white paper is on the end. For us, our workbook right now for implementing this learn-to-earn session is the healthcare on blockchain, which we published in May, and you should buy that book. It's our workbook, so you can understand how this thing is unfolding. But there's going to be many workbooks coming out after this, so that they give specific instructions on how to go along every step of the way. And all you have to do is go to page so and so, and then you get to know what's happening. The workbook. And this workbook put together the operations, the step-by-step operations, telling you how to do. So get healthcare on blockchain, because as we go along, you're going to have multiple workbooks coming out, and we shall be publishing them as they get composed. All right, I think that's all I would like to say. There's a lot of a very exciting future here we have, and you cannot imagine how much this is going to unfold when you bring all the people together in at KU in December. It's going to be very, very beautiful. Back to you, Grace.
Thank you so much, Dr. for that wonderful presentation. So at this time, I want to welcome anyone with a question. Maybe you can raise your hand, or also you can type. Yeah, this is your session for anyone with a question. Also, if there's no one with a question, I think I can post the attendance form. I have posted the attendance form. So kindly make sure that you don't leave the meeting without signing the attendance form. Yeah. So I think, Doc, if everyone is comfortable, I think we can adjourn the meeting at this point so that we may prepare for the next meeting, which is at 8 p.m.
Okay, agreed. Let's adjourn so we can prepare for the next meeting. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. So you can see there's quite a bit of work to do and beautiful work ahead. That's very comprehensive for everyone. Okay.
So those who have signed the attendance form, I think we can all leave the meeting. Thank you so much for attending today's session. Have a good afternoon. Thank you.
Bye.